किमिन्द्रेणाल्पवीर्येण ब्रह्मणा वा तपस्यता किं क्षेमशूरैर्विबुधैर् असंयुगविकत्थनैः रहोजुषा किं हरिणा शम्भुना वा वनौकसा किमिन्द्रेणाल्पवीर्येण ब्रह्मणा वा तपस्यता. Nobody else? Kim क्षेमशूरैर्विबुधैर् असंयुगविकत्थनैः रहोजुषा किं हरिणा शम्भुना वा वनौकसा किमिन्द्रेणाल्पवीर्येण ब्रह्मणा वा तपस्यता. Matajis? Nobody. Kim क्षेमशूरैर्विबुधैर् असंयुगविकत्थनैः रहोजुषा किं हरिणा शम्भुना वा वनौकसा किमिन्द्रेणाल्पवीर्येण ब्रह्मणा वा तपस्यता. Kim, what is there to fear? Kshema, in a place where there is a scarcity of the ability to fight. Shuraihi, by the demigods. Vibudhaihi, by such powerful persons. Asamyugavikathanaihi, by boasting and talking uselessly away from the fighting. Raha Jusha, who is living in a solitary place within the core of the heart. Kim Harina, what is the fear from Lord Vishnu? Shambhuna, and what is the fear from Lord Shiva? Va, either Vana Okasa, who is living in the forest. Kim Indrena, what is the fear from Indra? Alpaviryena, he is not at all powerful, having no power to fight with you. Brahmana, and what is the fear from Brahma? Va, either Tapasyata, who is always engaged in meditation. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. The demigods boast uselessly while away from the battlefield. Only where there is no fighting can they show their prowess. Therefore, from such demigods we have nothing to fear. As for Lord Vishnu, he is in seclusion in the core of the hearts of the yogis. As for Lord Shiva, he has gone to the forest. And as for Lord Brahma, he is always engaged in austerities and meditation. The other demigods, headed by Indra, are devoid of prowess. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. So these are the ministers of Kamsa. They are advising Kamsa. They are talking to Kamsa. Please repeat this translation. The demigods boast uselessly while away from the battlefield, only when there is no fighting. Only where there is no fighting can they show their prowess. Therefore, from such demigods, we have nothing to fear. As for Lord Vishnu, he is in seclusion, in the core of the hearts of the yogis. As for Lord Shiva, he has gone to the forest. And as for Lord Brahma, he is always engaged in austerities and meditation. The other demigods, headed by Indra, are devoid of prowess. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Kamsa's ministers told Kamsa that all the exalted demigods had fled in fear of him. One had gone to the forest. Who's that? Shiva. Shiva has gone to the forest. One to the core of the heart. Vishnu. Vishnu is gone into the core of the heart of the yogis. And one to engage in tapasya, Lord Brahma. These are the famous Trinity, Trimurti, Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva. All the three of them are away. They generally don't participate in fighting because they are busy with something else. Thus, you can be free from all fear of the demigods. They said, just prepare to fight. And the whole advice is, now get ready to fight against the demigods. Don't be afraid of some enemy who's born somewhere. So that is what the ministers of Kamsa are assuring him, giving him confidence to not be afraid or not be in any way subdued by the devatas, their enemies. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. Om Ajnanatimmirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. The Leela, Krishna Leela is unfolding, and what is next happening? Kamsa was completely bewildered by the turn of events that the eighth child has escaped from my clutches, born somewhere, and also destined to kill Kamsa. Who is the child? Where is the child? How is he going to kill me? When is he going to kill me? Child cannot kill. Or it's some mystical child who has got the power to kill even without growing up to be an adult. Something mysterious is going on. Can you imagine Kamsa's position? Just imagine. On the day when his sister got married, and he is happily taking his sister to her husband's new home. Suddenly one voice in the sky says, "You fool, you do not know that the eighth child of this sister of yours is going to be cause of your death, is going to kill you." Suddenly Kamsa is shaken. You can imagine what is happening, and suddenly something in the sky, some unseen voice. Immediately Kamsa took out his sword, Kshatriya, and wanted to kill Devaki, his sister. You see, this is called demoniac mentality. And then with great difficulty, with a lot of forethought, Vasudeva saved Devaki. And Kamsa also began to reflect. Vasudeva is a very sober person. So when he saw Vasudeva's sober attitude in spite of Devaki's life being in danger, then he began to really consider, why should I kill my sister at this time of her marriage? So I'll get a very, very bad reputation, even if I somehow, do something immediately. Eighth child of this sister of mine, when the child is going to be born, where the child is going to take birth, what's going to happen? Nothing. So some prophecy, so he restrained himself. And now the time has come. The eighth child is born, but has escaped. So even more in anxiety. What was foretold has come to pass. You see, the first 6 children, he successfully killed them, even though they were not actually the ones who would be the cause for his death. Because these foolish ministers are advising him, don't spare anybody. And the eighth child is born, but at first look, it turned out to be a baby girl. Kamsa is suddenly thinking, how come a baby girl is born to Devaki, not a boy? First 6 children were all sons. And something mysterious happened when the 7th pregnancy, it was a miscarriage. The child died in the womb of the mother. The child never came out even. So Kamsa doesn't know what to make of that. Anyway, now he's waiting for the 8th child. And it's a baby girl. So he said, no taking chances. Devaki pleaded. It's after all a girl. You don't have danger from a woman. In the Vedic culture, women don't fight. Women are protected. So there is no danger from this girl. And Devaki pleaded, but Kamsa was so cruel, so hard-hearted, being of demoniac nature. So he decided he's not going to take any chance. So he decided to kill the child. He tried. The child escaped from his hand. And then something very startling is being revealed. That child is no ordinary child. That child is Goddess Durga. Goddess Durga is also among the party of the enemy as far as the Asuras are concerned, like Kamsa. For them, all demigods are enemies. But Durga is very special. Durga is no ordinary demigoddess. She is very, very, very fierce to look at. Even the sight of Durga can instill fear in even the most powerful Rakshasa or Asura. She is always riding on a lion. And she has 10 hands. Vishnu has 4 hands. Vishnu rides on Garuda. Garuda is belonging to the category of vultures or eagles. So eagle is a dangerous bird, not an ordinary bird. But still, Vishnu has only 4 hands. And Vishnu's appearance, he doesn't look very fierce. He's always smiling. He appears peaceful and calm. So there's nothing to fear from Vishnu as such. But 4 of his hands, 2 hands he is holding one lotus flower. And the other harmless instrument is the conch. Shankha and Padma, harmless. But 2 other hands, Chakra and Gada. Gada is just one instrument. And the Chakra, what can one do with Chakra? Not much. Not so useful a weapon like that. You've seen children playing with the disc? Correct? Supposing the disc had some sharp edges. You throw it, it comes here, it can strike at the neck properly and then chop off the neck. Or at least do some injury. Correct? Or lop off some hand or some portion of the leg or something like that. So it's not a very great instrument, this chakra. What these foolish asuras and all the ignorant fools, materialistic fools don't know, that chakra is not just one chakra. It is actually Sudarshana. These are all actually mysteries about God, God's personality, God's form, God's powers. Everything about God is actually mysterious. Try to understand this point. So it's not easy to even understand even the basics of who is God. And the scriptures, they're so confusing. Some places in scripture says, God is basically spirit. And all the living entities are also spirit. And one place the scriptures say, Aham Brahmasmi. Who is God? Brahman. Who are you? You are also Brahman. So some places scripture says you are God. Other places the scriptures say you are not God. You are an insignificant, tiny, living being, and such living beings are practically countless. Among all these living beings, there is one supreme being. That supreme being is a supreme person, supreme Lord, supreme controller, supremely powerful, supremely knowledgeable, supremely strong, supremely opulent, supreme everything. So that is God. And you cannot see Him just like with these eyes. Even after millions and millions and billions of years of tapasya, somebody may, a yogi may get a glimpse of Him in the heart, core of the heart. He may just get one brief darshan. And how to approach Him? He is in the core of the heart, and after so much meditation, the yogi goes into what is called as samadhi. What happens to the yogi? So much he was wanting to see God, and he got a glimpse of the God. After that, next thing is he becomes absorbed in meditation, completely lost to everybody else in the world. So it's something mysterious, no? What happens to the yogis after they get darshan? Before they get darshan, they are trying so much different types of austerity to actually meditate on God. And when the actual meditation is successful, they become completely like lifeless, simply sitting there, samadhi. Isn't it mysterious? What is this whole meditation about? And then, so that Vishnu, who's supposed to be God, one description of God, is in the core of the hearts of the yogis. And somewhere else it is said, Vishnu also is one of the demigods, devatas. He is the maintainer. And he lives in his own planet. And that planet is far, far away than all other planets. It's even beyond Brahmaloka. And even when the devatas go to that planet, they see just one milk ocean is there in the planet. Just like we have oceans, no, in our planet. Like that there is one milk ocean on Vishnu's planet. Shweta Dvipa. Shweta because there's a milk ocean. Why Dvipa? He lives on an island in the middle of that milk ocean. And then if you go there, you see the milk ocean, but you cannot see anybody on that island. There's an island there. Nobody is there. And the foolish devatas say, he's there, but he's invisible. So the asuras and rakshasas laugh. They say there is God. When you say, show God, oh, he is not visible. Then if you ask where he is, some foolish people say he is in the heart of the core of the heart of the yogis. And some other foolish Brahma-like people say, oh, he is there. in his own planet. And then, have you seen God? Oh no, you cannot see God. Even if you go there, you have to pray to him, and through Brahma, sitting in meditation, he may give some reply to our prayers. So all this is highly mysterious, and generally so-called rationalists who are foolish atheists, foolish materialists, they dismiss all this stuff as simply some mythology. This is mythology. This is the product of a fertile brain of so-called pious people, so-called rishis, saintly persons. They have nothing else to do. They're simply wasting time. Meditation, worship, studying scriptures. And what those scriptures contain? All useless stuff. They describe God. Who is that God? They can't properly explain. So many theories about who is God. So the fact is, there is nothing or no one who is like God. God or Krishna or the Supreme Absolute Truth is in a category all by himself, completely apart from everything that is created. Everything that is created, everything in existence, he is completely aloof. So in Christian theology, they understand that God is completely apart from all of us. He is completely different, aloof. He is supreme controller. All that they understand. But they say, if he is completely apart, he is completely aloof, he is all powerful, then we cannot relate with him, we cannot see him, we cannot connect with him, except simply offer some prayers, and then he will answer your prayers. He'll bless you. He will deliver you. He will redeem you. And all in the future. For now, you just accept there is God, and then you pray. That's all your business is. So, this understanding of God is again, even though it's not wrong, but it doesn't seem to be very logical, very practical, very meaningful. What kind of God is this? We cannot see him, we cannot relate with him, we cannot connect with him. So, in the scriptures, there are various descriptions of God, in our scriptures at least. There are various descriptions of God, elaborate descriptions. But if you want to really know God, you can't randomly pick some book and try to read it and know, I know everything about God. I read this book. No way. You cannot. So, you have to systematically follow the procedure, the method, the process. And the process is very nicely, elaborately described in the scriptures. If it is, God is so great, God is so very, exalted, much beyond the reach of the most intelligent persons, then how should one go about trying to know God or trying to approach God? So, because the scriptures elaborately describe God and the process for attaining God or understanding God or knowing God or realizing God, therefore, the Supreme Lord Himself has spoken the Bhagavad Gita. The Supreme Lord Himself has spoken the Bhagavad Gita. And in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna directly speaks. He directly says, I am the absolute truth. I am God. And in the most concise way, there are only 700 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, out of which Krishna has spoken 575 verses. So in these 575 verses, He has actually revealed everything about God. And not only is revealed about God, He is revealed about this world, He is revealed about the spiritual world, He is revealed about the material creation, He is revealed about death. Everything He has revealed. A complete presentation of the absolute truth is there in the Bhagavad Gita in just 575 verses. But that does not mean the other verses are useless, but the other verses are actually connected. So you have to read the Bhagavad Gita, you have to study all the 700 verses. But then, because it is so very condensed, as compared to the Vedic literature, which is very, 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 very vast. So you have to get guidance from a self-realized, God-realized soul, God-realized person. Otherwise, it's impossible for anybody to figure out, even reading Bhagavad Gita, what is told in the Bhagavad Gita. That's why you have so many interpretations of the Bhagavad Gita, so many varieties of translations. It's not difficult to understand why there are so many interpretations and translations. Because how can you ever figure out what is told about God by God Himself when in 700 verses, the vast Vedic literature, which nobody can say totally how many different verses or what is the extent of this Vedic literature, it is virtually unlimited. There are the 4 original Vedas, and according to many historians, most of those literatures are lost. At least in Kali Yuga, they say most of the literatures are lost. Because when you say the 4 Vedas, that is the division made by Vyasadeva of the Vedic literature. Rig Veda, Yajur Veda, Sama Veda, Atharva Veda. Then in Rig Veda itself, there are 4 subdivisions: Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, and Upanishad. Now, each of these, there is a Rig Samhita, there is a Yajur Samhita, there is a Sama Samhita, there is a Atharva Samhita. Similarly, there is Rig Upanishads, like that. So 4 into 4, it becomes 16 set of books, or whatever you may say. Now, how many such volumes of books are there? Nobody knows. We only have what is remaining. And that also, where is it available? Actually, they think that it is available in palm leaf manuscripts. But that's not where you can really get them. First of all, the palm leaf manuscript, you see, it is all crumbling now, wherever it is available. And then even if, let's say, you have something intact and you're able to get the actual text, how do you understand the text? Where do you begin? Where does it begin? Where does it end? So there are so many unanswered questions like this. If somebody on their own, using their own intelligence, either individually or collectively, tries to figure out anything about God like this. So therefore, the scriptures, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that you approach a bona fide spiritual master, tadvidhi, pranipatena, pariprashnena, sevaya. You have to search out for a guru. And you come across, especially now Kumbh Mela is going on, you go to Kumbh Mela site. So many sadhus and so many seekers of the sadhus. Seekers are in crores. And sadhus? No, sadhus are not some small number. Actually, genuine sadhus are very few. But there are so-called sadhus also, no? Who look like sadhus, especially in Kali Yuga. So they are all there. Not all of them, but many of them are there. Much more than you can see in any one holy place even. All of them assemble there. So Srila Prabhupada says, Kumbh Mela is a spiritual conference. It's a spiritual conference. So common people, for them, it is very difficult to get such concentrated, a place where sadhus are all, the saintly persons, the masters, the spiritual masters are all congregating in one place. That also it happens once in 12 years. So very, very special it is, because all of them come. Of course, now it is reduced to mere rituals. Formerly, it was not like that. It was a spiritual conference where they would sit, gather together and discuss. Just like in the Bhagavatam, it is described, the beginning of the Bhagavatam, some sages assembled in the holy place called Naimisharanya. And elsewhere it is told, not in the Bhagavatam, there were about 80,000 sages. How many? 80,000 sages, 80. And among them, there was one sage, Suta Goswami. He was accepted as the most learned and most realized, and the authority, the greatest authority among all the assembled sages, 80,000 sages. He was the topmost. So he was elected the president of the assembly, and he began to speak. In that conference, he was presiding over the conference, that spiritual conference. So formerly, Kumbh Mela means spiritual conference. And for the common people, just like the sages assembled in Naimisharanya, 80,000 sages, now Kumbh Mela is a conference where even all the common people go. And they also, like the sages who are sitting and hearing Sutta Goswami, like that any common man can go and sit and hear from the masters. Conference, spiritual conference. But now, doesn't seem like a spiritual conference. Some crazy, and at least in the common man's eyes, some crazy naked Naga Babas are doing some rituals. And some people are sitting and doing some meditation, kalpavas. We reside there and we undertake severe austerities. And some people think, just go for a bath. That's the essence of the whole Kumbh Mela. Just go and take a bath. All your sins are washed away. You are guaranteed liberation. All kinds of, understanding are there now. But the scriptures, even though they are so vast, still the essence is what is given by Veda Vyasa. He is an incarnation of the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord has given us the Vedas through Brahma at the beginning of creation. The entire Vedic literature has been imparted through the heart of Brahma to all of us. It's coming in parampara. But in Kali Yuga, people are handicapped in so many ways. So for the people of Kali, Vyasadeva did so much of work. He extracted the essential portions of the entire Vedic literature and divided them first of all into 4 parts, Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharvaveda. And even those, each part itself, it's very vast, because the Vedas are very vast. Even 1/4 of the Vedas is also very, very vast. So he further subdivided, and the philosophical essence, he gave it as in the form of Upanishads. Now, Upanishads is the philosophical essence of the Vedas. Now, Upanishads also, they are not, they're very short treatises, books. But they are also not few. There are many Upanishads. Actually, nobody knows how many are there. But at least among them, 108 are considered the most important. That is also not a small number, 108 Upanishads. Among the 108, 11 are even more important. 11 are even more important. And among the 11, there is one which is not among the 11, though it is a confidential thing. The essence of all the Upanishads is there in the form of Bhagavad Gita. That's why Bhagavad Gita, even though it appears like a part of Itihasa, scripture, Mahabharata, but it is not just the essence of the history called Mahabharata. It is actually the essence of all the Vedas, the essence of all the Upanishads, it's essence of even the Vedanta Sutra. There's another essence of the entire Vedic literature called Vedanta Sutra. And that Vedanta Sutra is explained in the Bhagavad Gita. The whole Vedanta Sutra is condensed in one verse in the Bhagavad Gita. So Bhagavad Gita is even above the Vedanta Sutra. It's the cream of the cream of the cream. Upanishads is cream of the cream of the Vedas. Vedanta Sutra is the cream of the cream. Essence of all the Upanishads is there in the form of Vedanta Sutra. One book. Only 525 sutras are there. Short aphorisms. Now in the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedanta Sutra is condensed in one verse. Just one verse. So that is the position of the Bhagavad Gita. Please understand. Cream of the cream of the cream. This is Bhagavad Gita. So this Bhagavad Gita has to be explained by a realized soul, God realized soul. And such God realized souls are very, 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 very rare in the entire creation, not just on this earth planet, not just in India, not just in our Bhuloka, but all over the universe. You can't find God realized souls just like that. What does Bhagavatam say? Muktanam api siddhanam narayana parayana sudurlabha prashantatma kotishvapi mahamune. Among muktanam, siddhanam, the plural, crores, kotishvapi, crores of mukta purushas and siddha purushas, even among them, to find one God realized soul, perfect spiritual master, is very, very sudurlabha. Durlabha means very difficult to find. Sudurlabha means extremely difficult to find. Rarest of the rare, as they say in English. Rarest of the rare is such a Narayana Parayana. That is Prabhupada. So don't think Prabhupada is one guru among many gurus. Don't think like that. And in the past, there have been gurus like that. We call them acharyas. Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya. Like that, there have been acharyas. They are called Narayana Parayana. They are rarest of the rare. And their position is above all the saintly persons, above all the devatas, above all the yogis, above all the jnanis, tapasvis, above all the devatas, above even Brahma, and above even Shiva as position of the top devatas. And in the category of Vishnu, who is the Supreme Lord Himself, in that category, these acharyas are placed as good as God. But they are not God. They are all Narayana Parayana. They are devotees of God, devotees of Narayana, pure devotees. So they can explain, they can guide, they will reveal So you have to follow them. And before you try to follow, you have to search out for one. And it's not easy to search because they're so rare. They're so rare. And you go to Kumbh Mela, you can see the confusion that prevails there. Each person will say, this person is authority, some other person is a master, somebody else is an expert. You'll get only confused if you go there with an open mind. You study the scriptures, again confusion. You go to such conferences where they're supposed to be, all of them are supposed to congregate, difficult to find. So, it's not easy, but still, Krishna sends such personalities, rare personalities from the spiritual world time and again. He himself comes and he sends his confidential devotees. Only through them you can understand. Why I am telling all this is, these foolish ministers of Kamsa, they are so confident they know who are demigods. They don't even know who is Brahma. They don't know who is Shiva, who is Vishnu. They do not know. They only have seen Indra in action, actually. Very rarely they get to see Brahma or Vishnu or Shiva, or even Durga for that matter. Durga is also not easily seen like that. These four personalities are not in the category of the demigods in that sense. They are above the category called demigods. Though they are counted among the demigods because they are also controllers, they also have the duty of, or the responsibility of being controllers in this universal administration, but they are not at all in the category of the other demigods. Their post is not a post. Their post is not a post. So, they cannot be even approached by anybody. What to speak of trying to confront them, trying to kill them, trying to overpower them, trying to subdue them. They can't even be approached. They are unapproachable. But sometimes they themselves become visible, they themselves come down. Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu and Durga. It's like Durga appeared to Kamsa, but then for a brief moment, that's all. Finished. Where is Durga? I don't know. Where she is. They say she is in the form of some deity. They're all lifeless statues. These foolish so-called devotees worship that. That's not Durga. So like this, so many, like what are these ministers thinking about Shiva? Shiva is supposed to be some powerful devata whom all these demigods keep on describing and worshipping and praying, and so many temples and so many scriptures. But you ask where he is? Oh, he is in the forest. What is he doing? He is gone to the forest. Something he is doing there. Not mentioned, clearly mentioned here. Even here it's not mentioned. They don't know what he is doing in the forest. Something he is doing. He lives in the forest. And then Vishnu, oh, he is the core of the hearts of the yogis. He is also not visible. Even if he comes out, he is so small, you cannot see him even. What to speak of, confronting him, fighting against him. There's no need to bother about him at all. He doesn't exist even. And then Brahma, oh, he is living in Brahma Loka. But in Brahma Loka, what is he doing? Every time you go or you hear, what is he doing? Meditation, meditation, meditation. Always in meditation. So these ministers are telling we don't have to bother about those so-called greatest of the demigods, you see. And if Durga is also considered one of the demigoddess, she came, told something, she was appearing very fierce, disappeared. She should have killed Kamsa, no? If she's so powerful. From whom the danger is for Devaki and all the saintly persons. She just appeared, told something and went away. They're all cowards. That's what he's telling now. The demigods boast uselessly while away from the battlefield. Only when there is no fighting they can show their prowess. So Durga is showing her power, slipped away from Kamsa's hand, but only at a time when there's no fighting, there is no danger, nothing. Using some mystic power, these people do some tricks. Suddenly appear, disappear. But what is the use of appearing and disappearing like that? So, and as far as Indra is concerned, Indra doesn't have so much of power. He has some power among all the Devatas. He is called the king of the Devatas, the leader of the Devatas for fighting. But very easily we can defeat him. He is no match for you, they're telling Kamsa. So don't fear the demigods. That's the conclusion. I'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. This is the only announcement. I have one announcement. We're going to celebrate Sri Nityananda Trayodashi on 10th of February. Two weeks from now. We'll be celebrating the divine appearance of Lord Nityananda. Lord Nityananda is the incarnation of Balaram. And incarnation of Krishna is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So they appeared 500 years back, about 500 years back, performed the Sankirtan Leela. So Nityananda Trayodashi will be having grand Abhishek for Sri Gaur Nitai deities in the evening, followed by Arati, Kirtans and Prasadam feast. There's also fasting till noon for those who are observing this festival. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.